Okay. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. We are playing some RimWorld today. It's a lot of what I've been playing this week. This is actually the playthrough that I'm currently recording, so there is another recorded RimWorld playthrough coming to you. But as you might know, I do a lot of playing off camera, even during a recorded playthrough, just to progress things to more interesting spots. So that's what we're doing right now. Have I read The Three-Body Problem? I read the first book in the trilogy, and I started the second one, and then for some reason I stopped reading the second one. And I do that from time to time, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess I would say it's because something just bored me in the book. But I don't know. I don't really like to say that because I can't really say anything that I disliked about it. So I don't know what. I definitely liked the first book. I thought it was a very interesting premise. Very heady, I suppose I would say. You know, it's not a simple sci-fi book. And from what I understand, they're adapting the whole thing to a television show, or, you know, some sort of show. I don't know if we can really call it television shows anymore. But anyways, yeah, so maybe I'll try and pick up the second book again. Drilling for oil. So anyways, yeah, just been playing some RimWorld. And Lego and I are probably gonna come back to this for Two Brothers Play in the somewhat near future. Once we're kind of not done with Elden Ring, but gonna take a break from Elden Ring. So this week, this channel, lots of Elden Ring, as mentioned. Gonna be a lot of that in our future. Slowly but surely getting through that whole collection that I have. And we also had Fallout 2. Just gonna keep chewing through the Fallout games. Hey, Raymond. Happy Easter to you as well. Yeah, we had a party here today for Easter, just basically dinner. My mom was gonna serve ham. She serves ham every year, and I just don't care much for ham. And I was like, let's get something different in there. Let's mix it up a little bit. So I actually tried Gold Belly for the first time, which is this company that kind of facilitates restaurants from around the country shipping their food to you. So you can get like stuff from restaurants in New York City or LA or blah blah blah, and they'll ship the food to you and you reheat it or whatever. You can get cakes, blah blah blah. Not cheap. Absolutely not cheap. I was like, it was my birthday yesterday. My sister's birthday today. It was Easter today. Let's do something cool. So I got this like 10-person chicken dinner from Blue Ribbon. I think Blue Ribbon or Blue... I think it was Blue Ribbon. Maybe I'm getting their name wrong now. Yeah, Blue Ribbon. 10-person chicken dinner for Blue Ribbon with mashed potatoes and collard greens. I'd never had collard greens. Actually, none of us had ever had collard greens because we live in Wisconsin. And that cost $180. So for 10 people, it's an 8 to 10 person dinner, that would be $18 a pop, which is pretty reasonable, all things considered. And that came with 16 pieces of chicken, a couple pounds of mashed potatoes, the collard greens. Also came with chicken gravy, 2 jars of like wildflower honey, some habanero hot sauce, and some extra like chicken spice mix to put on the chicken. So it was like a whole, big package. And it wasn't like, my God, this blows my mind. I can never have any other chicken again in my life. This is the best. It was just really good chicken. Really good fried chicken. I was not disappointed. So I would definitely do it again. You've seen... well, thank you, Raymond. Thank you. I had a fun birthday. Seen ads for Goldbelly, been tempted to try it. Yeah, overall, I liked the service. It was very promptly delivered. The chicken, just 20 minutes in the oven to reheat it. Very simple, very easy, and it was just all good. The collard greens. Alright. I mean, it wasn't like, again, anything amazing. It just kind of was eating greens, like... I don't know exactly what it is. It was okay. I wouldn't, like, ever get excited about collard greens in the future, but I would eat them. But yeah, overall, we were all pretty pleased with the meal. Except my dad, who can't say anything positive about anything. But yeah, overall good. Then, in addition to that, we also got a cheesecake, a red velvet cheesecake from this place called Junior's in New York City. Currently a very well-known cheesecake place. Just a leafy plant. It's considered soul food. Now, we were kind of, well, my sister especially was wondering, like, do you just eat it as a side? Like, just on its own, just shovel it in your mouth? Or do you, like, put it on something? Because she was like, do you put it on the mashed potatoes? And, like, mix it with mashed potatoes? And I was like, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's just a side dish. And that's how we all ate it. Well, like I said, I mean, most of us thought it was just, like, okay. Yeah, red velvet cheesecake. It was a 7-inch cheesecake, which is not a huge thing. I mean, when you think of like a cake, it's definitely smaller than when I think of a cake in my head. And that cost $80 shipped. So not a cheap little cake, but yeah, it was damn good cheesecake. Possibly the best cheesecake I've ever had, sure. Um, very, very rich and decadent. I mean, it was like one slice of this cheesecake was 480 calories. So I mean, it's like rich, but it was very good. You can mix it or use it as a side, depends on the person. You don't eat it, but that's how your family makes it. Okay. Were the greens sauteed with garlic? Possibly? I don't know. They just shipped us a container of collard greens. So I don't know exactly how they do it. Independent, huh? And you're gonna leave? You think I'm gonna let you leave? How about you don't leave? Oh, shit. She went berserk. Well, not much of a berserker rage. She had crypto sleep sickness. Not a huge sweets guy. I could eat a whole cheesecake. Yeah, I mean, it was very impressive. I'm a little miffed. Oh, you already joined. What? Okay. So now you decided to join. Then I will release you. And now you're a member of our colony. Excellent. I was a little miffed. After I ordered the Red Velvet one, I noticed that the juniors, the company, they offered a special Easter themed cheesecake that was in the shape of like a colorful egg. And I was like, oh, that would have been so much better of a choice. I mean, I picked Red Velvet because that's like my favorite, but yeah, that would have been better. C'est la vie. Maybe next year. But yeah, I definitely think we're going to be doing Gold Belly quite a bit more in the future for events. Not like every event or anything, because it's like it's not that cheap, and it's like a lot of the times DoorDash and or catering from local places works just fine, but especially for like desserts, it was very good. Anyways. So Elden Ring, Fallout 2, obviously, that's going to continue. Hey, Sebastian. Easter's going pretty well. I was just talking about that. Wednesday I did RimWorld just because I was so close to buying and installing a Tiny Tina's Wonderland, and then I was like, $60 and I could just play RimWorld, so whatever. We might do that this Wednesday. I'm not sure. I will decide Wednesday evening, I'm sure. And then yesterday we did Elden Ring Co-op, which Lego's really enjoying. Who would have thought? Fucking Mech Braid shit. Shit. Mangg's got an anti-tank rifle. But it's very slow. It's like an old school anti-tank rifle. Oh my god. Can't hit the broadside of a barn. Shit. She's got a P90, but I don't know how good that is against mechanoid armor. This is no good. It's out of... Man, that's such short range. I'm not prepared for this. Machine gun nest. What the fuck are you doing, Alan? Oh my god. You have no respect for the mechanoid invasion? No respect whatsoever? Think you can just waltz through there? Forgive Me Father is out of early access. Story, 2 separate playable characters, different skill trees. Wow, that's kind of impressive. It wasn't that long ago that I played that. Hard to say if I want to devote a whole nother variety stream to it. I think we really just need loads more machine gun nests. That solves every problem. Alan fucking died. What the... Like, they have no survival instincts when it comes to just wandering through enemies. I thought they'd be way tankier. But 5.5... Oh, 7.62. Yeah, I mean, it works. It's the job done. There you go. Gotta tend to Mangg, otherwise I have to reload. Yeah. Fire hit the ammunition there. Just a second. I will continue to talk, don't worry. Just assemble... Shred mech. Alright, yes, I don't know if I want to dedicate a whole nother variety stream to Forgive Me Father. Maybe. I'll have to look into it. But, Tiny Tina's Wonderland, it's on, the top of the list. I'd also really like to do Hexplore It again. Again, I don't know if that interests anybody. I do occasionally get comments from those videos, but they're comments that are like, oh, where did you get this mod? I can't find it anywhere. Please tell me how to get this mod. Do your own research, damn it. What am I, fucking Google? But yeah, I don't know. It interests me, and that's usually the primary factor for me making videos. I mean, nobody on this fucking channel asked for, what, 12 videos on Magic Realm or whatever, but, we did it. And that's about it for this channel. Where did you shove Alan's body? Oh, you must have buried it. It's been buried, but I don't know where it is. Okay. I don't know. What? I can't give him a funeral if I don't know where his body is. Oh. Okay, we'll do that. Over on the Exploring series, released a video on Metagnostic. Another in the Admonition series about the Foundation trying to kill a whole bunch of gods. I think that one was more favorably received than the last one about pataphysics. Pataphysics is a pretty tough sell among casual SCP audience. "75% of the time you just show up here to chat, so a lot of times it doesn't really matter what you're playing to me." Yeah, and I can understand that, because I think about, like, the YouTubers and stuff that I watch. And generally it doesn't matter what the video is about. Like Tecmo. Like, I watch everything Tecmo puts out. Just because he's such a, you know, an enjoyable presenter and stuff. And so, I mean, I've watched a whole bunch of his videos about, like, dash cams and stuff. It's like, I don't even drive. I don't give a shit about dash cams. But, you know, it's just how it is. So I can understand that sentiment. But also, I mean, not everyone is like that. I've gotten a lot of comments on the Exploring series like, oh, I could listen to this guy read the newspaper, blah, blah, blah. You know, I could, whatever he puts out, it's just great. And it's like, yeah, if only every viewer was like that. But as we've seen with my, like, video game videos and stuff, like, my normal audience does not automatically watch everything. So, as, you know, any content creator generally has some interest in, like, making content that people are going to enjoy. And we've seen that on, like, Two Brothers Play, where, like, if we keep one series going for too long, people just stop tuning in. The viewership goes down, not by, like, a massive metric, you know, but it goes down from, like, 4 to 1. Which is a big drop. Percentage-wise. So, you know, I like to try to entertain people with proper content. But it's also should be my goal to make anything that I'm whatever game I'm playing, I should be able to make interesting. In theory. This week, for the channel, the Exploring series, I worked on Wilson's Wildlife Solutions. This is a... Yeah, we need a body. We need an animal to sacrifice for this ritual. An elk. Let's tame an elk and sacrifice it. Wilson's Wildlife Solutions is a group of interest, and I checked. I have not done a video on a specific group of interest in a little over a year. The last one I did was Parawatch. And they are a very just friendly, small organization that is allied with the Foundation. They have a business agreement. And they just look after all sorts of weird little anomalous critters. Specifically, anything that is not dangerous enough that needs to be contained by the Foundation. Anything less than that, but is still weird, that's contained by Wilson's Wildlife Solutions, and they love all the weird little critters. Tonally, it's just like completely different than practically anything else to do with SCP, and it's just it's very wholesome. You know, there's a few deaths, of course, mentioned in there, but overall, just very pleasant. So far, early feedback from Patreon has been pretty positive. It's just nice little change of pace. Going from 1 week of talking about killing gods, and then the next week you talk about just a weird little kangaroo that makes earthquakes when it jumps around. You know, it's nice. It's good. I think next week we're going back to, like, apocalyptic shit where most of humanity is dead instantly and stuff like that. So, just a nice little break for Easter. Yeah. So that's all that. I was very close to starting a recording of Color Out of Space by H.P. Lovecraft. It was very close. I was almost motivated enough to start it, and then I got caught up in something else, and I didn't. But I was close. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be the next Lovecraft reading I do. Anti-tank gun. I wish it just told you what it takes to make it. Like, why would you not have this information on this massive stat screen? Damn it. And at the same time, drilling for oil. Convert it to chem fuel. Chem fuel's good. I don't really need power. Penoxycillin. That could be interesting. Or a dartboard. We'll go with penoxycillin. You like the thumbnail, Monkey? Yeah. I had no idea what thumbnail I was going to use for this just general collection of weird critters. And during the editing, I was looking at images of just like different zoos and stuff, and I stumbled upon that monkey image, and I was like, it's just too cute. I mean, I have to put it in here. We're gonna bank on the cuteness drawing people in. Sometimes that's all you need. Yeah, so should be nice. I don't expect it to be insanely popular, but you never know. What else? I guess that's about it. So yeah, yesterday was my birthday. And we did an escape room. Our family has done an escape room, and I've done some ones with friends a bunch of times. So we're not escape room newbies, but the place that we usually went to, the place that we used to go to a bunch of times was in like an office building. So it was kind of strange, but like it was just one section of this big office building. But it was really, the production value for all the rooms and props and everything was really pretty good. It was a nice experience. We liked it. They closed down. They apparently closed down. Like, their Facebook page hasn't been updated in like a year, and there's no notice that they closed down, but the website link is no longer functional. So I guess it's just like, all right, I guess COVID did a number on them. And so we had to go look for a new place, but we had 10 people, and a lot of places don't really like. Actually, I think at the time when we were first looking, we had more than 10 people, and that's almost impossible to find. No escape room. We found one escape room that I think goes up to like 60 people, and it's a 4-hour-long escape room that takes up their entire facility or something like that. They said it's the biggest escape room in Wisconsin or something like that. Not cheap, and it would take 4 hours. But I would very much like to try that sometime. You really hope Richard Stanley gets to continue making Lovecraft adaptations? Yeah, I want to see the Dunwich Horror. I mean, Color Out of Space is like my favorite Lovecraft story, but I don't think it's really perfectly suitable for film, whereas Dunwich Horror I think is much better suited, which is why there's been multiple adaptations. But yeah, I'd love to see a big budget, big screen adaptation of it. Runt Cuggus. Why aren't you taming this? Oh, he's trying. He's trying, but he's failing. Okay. So we ended up trying this other place that had reasonable prices, good reviews. They had a room that fit 10 people. And the theme of that room was like a murder mystery. This murder happened in a big mansion. There were 9 suspects, and you had to figure out who done it. And I was like, that's right up my alley. I really like that. Fuck. That's it. My God, he got his fucking head bit off. Well, there goes a slave. Shit. He's only an orc, though. Not a big loss. So yeah, and we showed up. Very small operation, just like it was in a strip mall, very rinky-dink little place. There was like one guy working there. And so I had very low expectations going in, despite the high reviews. And it was basically like one kind of smallish room. He was a D-class. Yeah, that was an orc D-class. That's exactly what he was. I mean, he was literally a slave. He was not a colonist. So that's why we don't have to have a funeral for him. Oh, we got the raw honey coming in. Yeah, raw honey. Very sugary, fun to eat, while also extremely long-lasting. Now, what can I do? I can make sweet rolls if I have eggs. But, man, getting eggs is not just a simple process. I guess we can just also eat honey. What was I talking about? Yeah, so really low expectation. It was one room. None of the props in that room looked very high-end or anything like that. Production value, not that high. But I gotta say, of all the escape rooms I've done, this one was my favorite. For me personally. And that's because I like escape rooms, but what tends to happen from a lot of the ones I've done, most of the ones I've done, is you get in there, you get told the situation, and then people just go fucking ape shit, right? Like every group I've been with, every escape room I've done, people just go in a flurry, and they're all rushing around the room, and they're immediately finding like puzzles, and they're immediately finding combinations and little things, and they're just like, they're rummaging and they're solving little things to try and just open stuff, and and they're looking under things, and it's just like this mad flurry of activity. And I am not a mad flurry of activity kind of person. I tend to be a bit more ponderous than that. And so my idea of an escape room is I would like it to be more of like a thinking thing. I really like, to actually have to think your way out, which doesn't, I mean, it's sort of like that, but it's also kind of not. It's more of like rapid fire puzzles and stuff. It's never like a big picture thing. Again, just of the ones I've done. And I haven't done like dozens and dozens of them. And so what tends to happen then is as I just kind of like roam around the room and just sort of make sarcastic comments while everyone else is like solving combination locks and stuff. That tends to be what happened. And I still kind of enjoy the experience. And I can contribute sometimes. But I'm also, we did a Lovecraft escape room once. And going in, I was like, holy shit, like, I know my fucking Lovecraft. This is going to be great. But it didn't involve any sort of knowledge of Lovecraft or his works or anything like that, because these rooms are meant to be like, played by a mass group of people with a wide array of backgrounds and skill levels and all that. No escape room I've ever done has involved like knowledge going into it. It's all just like self-contained puzzle. And I understand that. It's just always kind of disappointing to me. I think there was another with like a Norse theme, or it had Norse elements to it. And there was like a puzzle that involved like Norse runes, like the Elder Futhark or something like that. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. But it was like, it wasn't. Like, it honestly, it was not Norse symbols. It was just like generic symbols that were kind of like Norse stylized. And it's just like, because obviously they're not going to go through all that trouble. It's just always kind of disappointing. I don't know. But this one was my favorite because, for one, it really did not make any sense to be at like an escape room. Like, we're trying to solve a murder mystery in a mansion. Why do we only have an hour, and why are we locked in a room? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Where other times it's like, you need to disarm this bomb. You have 1 hour. You have everything you need here. Disarm it. Like, it makes a bit more sense. But okay, we're trying to solve a murder mystery in an hour. And They gave us 9 suspects, and they gave us like little info sheets about each of the suspects, and they gave us like a timeline of the events that led up to the murder of this Lord Robert Montgomery, and the events sort of immediately after the murder. But half the timeline was missing, and you had to find it throughout the room in different locked boxes and blah blah blah. And I'm a big into murder mysteries and stuff like that, so the theme already excited me. But I really dove into this one because it was just a whodunit. And you just had to like piece everything together and take like an educated guess, essentially, at the end as to which of the 9 suspects you thought did it. And there was like a keypad. You had to input a 4-digit code corresponding to the suspect that you believed did it. And if you were right, then you won. And if you were wrong, you lost. You had 1 try. And I was just like, this is awesome. And so I just got like some paper. My mom had some paper in her purse, of course. And a pen, and I just started taking notes. And I was just like taking notes of everything I saw and putting it all together. It was like mind mapping shit. And just trying to, put together the entire situation of what led up to this murder and who had the most motive. And it was about a will dispute, essentially. And so there was like a copy of the will, and then there was a copy of the revised will, and it made some changes, and that led to some more interesting things. And I essentially solved it, or I had a prime suspect, I would say, like 30 minutes in, where I was practically certain that this person, at the very least, poisoned or at the very least drugged the victim prior to the murder. Like, I was certain on that. And it's like, we can only put in 1 name, so there's no way this is a conspiracy. And there were a lot of red herrings kind of directing you to the idea that this could be a conspiracy, but the fact that you could only put in 1 name as the murderer means that we have a single suspect working alone. So, I mean, yeah, had I really just wanted to bum rush a victory, I probably could have just put in that. And I ended up being correct. It was that person. So we would have set the record right there. But, for one, you want to experience the entire escape room because you paid for the whole thing. And 2, I like to be a bit more certain, as if I was trying to solve a crime. Did I enjoy Knives Out? I still have yet to see Knives Out, and I don't know what is preventing me from watching it. Like, it's really stupid that I have not watched it yet. It has so many actors I like. Murder mystery. It's just, I have no excuse. I'm in the middle right now of watching The Imposter, thanks to your recommendation, and so far it's pretty wild stuff. Yeah, so that was good. So yeah, we continued on, and what was great is that I could just sit there and focus on my notes and focus on the big picture of putting together this whole murder mystery, and everyone else could just run around and try and do all the little puzzles and solve the combination locks and blah blah blah, stuff that I don't really care about. So it was really like win-win. And I overheard several times them like struggling on a puzzle, and they're like, well, we should just ask Mangg. We should just ask Adam. He's good with this. And my brother's like, no, we're not asking him. We got to stand alone here. And they did. I mean, they solved everything. And it did lead to further clues that basically just cemented my original guess. So that was good. And what was really bullshit and I think unrealistic as far as like the story that they presented here. The person responsible for the murder was the guy's personal physician. So she had access to like drugs, and she drugged the victim before he was actually stabbed, because he died due to a stab wound. So she drugged the guy through his wine and then slipped off under the guise of changing her clothes, and then she went away and she stabbed the guy on his boat or whatever. But what's that called? The bullet, the fucking, what's that? The thing that confirms everything. There's a term for that. It's not a silver bullet, or you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, the thing that confirmed everything was that the knife, they had the murder weapon. It was a knife. It was like this dagger that he had. And there was blood found on the knife that wasn't the victim's. It was a different blood type. And as it turns out, the physician's blood was on the knife. And so that confirmed that, like, she was responsible. Smoking gun, that's what I'm thinking of. Thank you. Jesus. Silver bullet, my ass. Smoking gun, yeah. The smoking gun was this dagger that had her blood on it. And I'm just like partway through the escape room, I'm like, how would the suspect's blood be on this knife? And so my original thought then at that time was that, okay, well, there must have been some struggle before he got stabbed, and the suspect somehow cut herself on the dagger, I guess. I mean, it's sort of weird. But then you find out that she drugged him first. And he was basically, like, completely out of it when she stabbed him. So that fucking invalidates that whole thing. This would never happen. But they put it in there specifically for dumb people. Because dumb people would be... You get a copy of her, like, stat sheet at some point that shows her blood type. And so you can see that it matches the stuff found on the knife. And people would be like, oh, well, she must have done it because of her blood on it. And it's just like, that invalidates, like, the whole point of trying to figure out, like, who actually... Of like, putting together a timeline of events and all that. Like, what the fuck's the point when you can just see that the suspect's blood is on it? Fortunately, by that point, I had already completely solved it. So all it did was just confirm my, like, last suspicions or anything. But, yeah, that was pretty dumb of them. And so, yeah, we won with 6 minutes left. And it was very good. And then we went next door to the escape room. There was a Mexican restaurant. So we went and ate dinner there. It was like, if you think of the most average Mexican restaurant you've ever... Okay. We cut out there for a second, I think. If you think of the most average Mexican restaurant you've ever ate at, that was where we ate. And, like, every Mexican restaurant I've gone to, I make the mistake of getting nachos. Because I really like nachos. But I have to say it, like, Mexican restaurants can't make nachos. I think they just don't get it. I feel like it's something that's not... It's not part of their cuisine. Like, nachos are not a Mexican dish. It's really like a Texan dish. So it's not part of their cuisine, but I think they feel like they're in America. It's a Mexican restaurant. They have to have nachos. So they just kind of throw some shit together. And so... my favorite restaurant that I order from all the time... has prime rib nachos. And it's got like this nice melted cheese on it and prime rib meat. And it's got all the fixins, and it's just so fucking delicious. And then this was basically just like, you know, like shredded. I don't even know what kind of cheese they use. It's not mozzarella. I don't know, some other shredded white cheese on it. And they like dump a whole bunch of jalapenos on it. And it just tastes flat and boring. It was a shame. But I don't know. I don't really like eating at Mexican restaurants that much. Like, I never liked tacos from them. I don't know. I like making my own tacos. It's really preferred. She was just really incompetent at using a knife. I mean, apparently, yes. She was just... She, like, held the knife by the blade and was just kind of, like, swinging at him. I don't know. It's like she rolled a natural 1 on her stab attempt. You had some amazing pulled pork nachos at a bar grill place Friday. Yeah, I mean, like, bar, grill, pub kind of places, they fucking rock nachos very often. That's all the places I've had best nachos have come from places like that. And then every Mexican restaurant has just failed. And I don't know why I keep trying. I do not know. But yeah, that was good. And then after that, you know, we did Two Brothers Play, and it was just a good birthday. So I can't complain. Apparently, my whole family chipped in months ago for my birthday present for this year. They all came together, and they were getting me a Korone figurine from Japan. They cost like $275 or something like that. Like, just some... Because it's, you know... If they can charge whatever the fuck they want, people are going to buy the Korone figurine. And this is something I obviously could buy for myself. And I only mentioned it at some point to my brother. I'm like, oh, you know, look at this cool figurine, Christmas present, blah, blah, blah. But they apparently all chipped in to buy this. And it originally was going to be a Christmas present, but it didn't arrive. And then they're like, all right, well, I'll give it to him for his birthday in April. Still has yet to arrive. So now they all think that they got scammed. Which seems unlikely. I don't know. I don't think Korone would team up with some company that's going to scam you. And it has to be legitimate because it's in Japan. I don't think there's any company in Japan illegitimately making Korone figurines that's not threatening a lawsuit. You know, like... That seems unlikely. So I assume it's legitimate, and I don't know if COVID or what happened. I told them, it's like, well, you know, we're filthy foreigners, so we're probably on the bottom of the list for priority. But whenever I get it, that'll be pretty sweet. That'll be pretty sweet. I will put it on my dating profile. Yeah. So that's that. Alright, so yeah. Elden Ring. Plenty of it this week. More Fallout 2. Something on Wednesday. Maybe Tiny Tina's Wonderland. If I feel like spending the $60. I think what also dissuaded me from doing it on last Wednesday was that I saw it. It was like 175 gig download or something like that, and I was just like, I don't feel like it. But we'll see. Otherwise, yeah, I'd really like to do a Hexplore it. Just for old time's sake. Yeah, and that's that. Exploring series got Wilson's Wildlife Solutions tomorrow. Check it out if you like cute animals. Plenty of cute animal pictures in that video. Hoping you get it. It turns out it's a body pillow. I mean, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I've never owned a body pillow. There must be some, like... There must be some appeal to it other than like some sort of sensual, sexual thing to it. Like there must be like some physical benefit to like wrapping yourself around a body pillow. I don't know. Maybe I'll find out one day, or maybe I won't. Who knows? Yeah, and that's that. Someday you'll see me read The Color Out of Space, but I can assure you it won't be this week. As time just keeps ticking on. I mean, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice having something as steady as SCP. Where I don't have to, like... I'm not constantly searching for, like, a big hit, you know? It's not like when I was covering Celtic mythology or something. Like, when I was covering Celtic mythology, that was still... Exploring Series was my job by that point. Like, that was my full-time job. And it was just like, it was a slump. I mean, really, not many people are watching it. And it's just like, shit, this is my job, and it's failing. Now, it's not a great feeling. And it's like, I might never reach new heights again. Yeah, I might just be constantly in a slump now until I give up. It's not a great feeling. Whereas now we have SCP. It's constantly growing. There's always new SCPs being written. It's something I enjoy, and it's just overall easy. Like, it's not... I don't have to learn a whole new mythos for SCP. So it's just kind of a comfortable position. And yeah, I mean, I like exploring all sorts of stuff, but I also like being lazy. And sometimes that just trumps it. Anywho, that'll do us for now. Thank you all for tuning in. Always nice to have people to chat with during these streams. But for now, my name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. I'll see you fine folks next week.